Welcome to This Costa Rican Life. I'm Justin McCarter. I'm joined today with my friend Joe Paolene. He's a sailor, he's a traveler, he's a guy that moves all over the world, working in different tourism locations. He knows a lot about sailing, he knows a lot about boats, and he knows a lot about getting by on the bare minimum. Joe, thanks for joining us.
Just getting by, yeah, thanks, Justin.
Well, you're building your brand, you know?
Yeah, it's a personal brand, right?
I feel like it is. I feel like you've brought a lot to this area, and you're off soon. So I wanted to sit down with you and just, how long have you been here in Costa Rica?
About 3 months. Got here on Thanksgiving. So yeah, putting me on a plane on Monday, but that's how it is. That's how I roll.
Where are you going on Monday?
I'm going off to London. So that's the next step.
And then somewhere else to sail coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, heading to Croatia, BVI's, back across the Caribbean, Cayman Islands. Yeah, a couple places.
People would describe you. I've never honestly heard you say this, but I have heard people describe people like you as rock stars of sailing. People that sort of like mercenaries of sailing. You're a top-notch sailor. You move from place to place, and you sail, and then the sun sets, and you ride off into the distance.
Yeah, that's quite a compliment. Thank you for that.
I do. I feel like you're one of the best sailors I've ever known. Wow. And a very competent guy. For me, sailing is about competence and being able to handle kind of any situation that comes along, and that's what I love about long distance sailing, for instance. And you're a guy that not only sails well in a competition setting, but also is really skilled in sort of fixing boats and fixing things on the fly. Where did you start sailing, and how did you come to sailing?
Well, I started sailing in Niagara-on-the-Lake in Ontario, Canada, from a very young age, and sailing my whole life. And I've just kept expanding my sailing to different places. It's definitely a lifestyle, like you're saying, fixing boats, coming up with things on the fly. That's all a part of sailing. So.
You've been to a lot of places. I feel like I'm fairly well traveled, but I think your current count is 35 or 36 countries. Does that sound about right?
Maybe not just quite yet. Maybe in the next couple of months I'll get to that 36, but I think we're sitting at 34. We just went to Nicaragua together,
right?
That was
what,
a month or two ago.
Yeah.
No, that was a great time.
It was.
One of us came back from that.
One of us came back sooner than the other.
Well,
that's all right. That's all right.
I couldn't get away, really.
Well, and I possibly had COVID.
No,
so,
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, some people would. But so how do you find Costa Rica and Nicaragua? Let's start with Costa Rica. How do you find Costa Rica compared to other places that you have been and worked and sailed in?
Costa Rica, for sure. I mean, like Pura Vida, everyone says it, but it really is a great life here. There's a lot of tourism coming out, a lot of American influence. It feels like a fairly safe place to live.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's abundant. Like, life is abundant here. You got everything you need.
I think that's for us, Eric. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted.
Come on right over here.
The goods.
Be perfect. One of the greatest saloneros in all of Guanacaste.
Look at this. Costa Rica has it all.
Yeah.
Oh, and this nectar of life. Look at this.
Chili guaro.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you, señor. All right.
Tetas y culos?
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. I just hear other people say it. So, Pura Vida.
Salud. This is the nectar of life here.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got all the vitamins and minerals that you will need.
Looks like it.
I like them chunky style, like that.
Really good.
A nice acidity. Peppery. A little heat.
That pepper just cuts through the acidity, right? Yeah.
Nobody does chili guaro like Gerald.
Gerald, yeah. He's got it right.
Yeah. So chili guaros, that's a new thing for you in your life.
Chili guaros are a new thing. You know, I've had Bloody Marys, as they call them in America. In Canada, Caesars, much better,
right?
in my personal opinion.
Because they have the clamato.
It's all about that clamato juice. You know, you put a little bit of fish taste in there, and it just changes it altogether. Okay. Maybe drop an oyster in that, but you know,
I'm down with that.
Yeah. It's just allspice and a bit of rum, but not rum.
Yeah. What has been your favorite part of Costa Rica since you've been here?
The sailing? This bay is actually beautiful. I look out onto it, you know, in the days, and it's an excellent venue for sailing. Very protected on most sides. You get a very regular wind here, so it's been a pretty nice place to sail. It's a really great spot. Yeah, so I'd say the sailing, the community as well. It's a really small town here in Potrero, so just getting to know everyone really easily and well. I heard something like there's 400 residents in Potrero, that's insanely small. Like
I think there's probably 800.
Yeah.
But still, it's a very, very small. That's the full-time community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe you're just thinking Surfside, right? But that's smaller than like my high school. Like that's tiny.
Yeah.
So
it is nice. We've got a nice mix of families and just travelers, locals, Costa Ricans.
Yeah, it's a good mix. And even transient people as well, right?
Yeah.
People that are working remotely. So it's cool to have those different people with different experiences coming together, and just living for even just the moment. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I feel like we're really friendly towards the people that just roll in too. And I think you've worked in some big places, maybe where you don't, and I don't want to put words into your mouth, but I've been in places like that where you don't really, you provide a service to the people that come in, but you don't bother having like a long conversation with them. Yeah. You just kind of, they roll in, you show them the sights and you move on out. And here, for some reason, I feel like we're more welcoming to people that come in for a short time. If they're interested in sailing, man, they're part of the family here at the Sailing Center. So.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, even if they're here just for the weekend, it's a small town, so you're going to see them out, whether it's on the one street that's here or, back at the one beach. So you're going to see the people that you interact with, even if they're just tourists, for the rest of the day, probably multiple times in the day even. So yeah, definitely opportunity for that.
If they're buying drinks.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? But
so you've been sailing, you've been doing you were working in the Cayman Islands for a long time, and you did tours. You did sailing tours all the time, back and forth.
Yeah, and 7 years in the Cayman Islands, 2 to 3 trips a day.
Wow.
Yeah, like 8 hours a day on the water, taking tourists to dinner and back, or taking tourists snorkeling, things like that. Sunset sails all day, private charters, things like that. So I've done a lot of that, and then just racing sailboats on the weekend on my spare time.
And now you're headed to Croatia to do some racing.
Some
if
charters.
That works out. Yeah.
So that should be happening in through the summer for Yacht Week. So I haven't been hired for that yet, but it looks quite likely and hopeful. So that'll be good. A little bit more experience doing strictly charters on a larger scale. So that's the plans for the future.
What do you like the most? I know some people just want to race, and some people like the charter lifestyle. Here at the Sailing Center, you know us, we do a little bit of everything. You've got to pull boats, you've got to do a charter, you've got to do lessons. Yeah. But what's the part that appeals to you the most, or does it all? Do you like the mix?
I mean, so coaching kids to sail, or even adults to sail, it's rewarding because you watch them learn and grow and then become great sailors. And show them something that you really like, and then that they get to really enjoy as well. So that's really rewarding. Professionally sailing or racing, that can be a little bit difficult because it's kind of like you're under the gun for something that you do for fun, and that can kind of take the joy away from it a little bit. But that's the joy in charters, is that it's not a race, and it's already a great time for people. It's in the hand already.
That's a hospitality industry.
Yeah, it's a hospitality thing, and they're having a great time. It doesn't make it too difficult to provide a good time for them. So I'd say charters is pretty high up on the list.
Yeah.
Because you're having a good time, they're having a good time.
You know me, I like to do sailing charters. I feel like there's a lot less pressure on a sailing charter than, say, a fishing charter.
Oh yeah.
You pull those sails up, even if there's barely any wind, you have completed your requirements, and everything else is just hanging out, and it's gravy.
Yeah, crack out the beers, chili guar, rum punch,
put on a little music.
They're happy, They're on a boat, man. Right?
You don't pull up a fish on a fishing charter in the first 45 minutes. People are looking at you like you're an idiot, or you're cursed, or they're cursed, and there's that's no way to enjoy an afternoon.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's pressure. I don't like it.
It's not happy. It's not a flowing good time.
I do like to fish.
Fishing is fun. That's the thing. All these activities are really fun when you're just doing them yourself. Like racing for yourself, you're not under the gun. You're just out there having a good time.
You've participated in some of our racing here at Sailing Center.
Yes, just a little
what's
bit.
Your experience? What's your experience there?
It's been really fun. Little boat stuff, just pitter patter. Up against each other. Yeah. It's really fun. I know we've had our incidences together that I'm sure you'll elaborate on. But yeah, it's really fun.
What do you mean by that? What are you referring to?
Oh, just tipping over, things like that. A little bit of when boats meet.
That's an interesting way to put it, Joe. Me tipping over. That's an interesting way that you should frame that instance. So I'm glad we have you here on the camera, and I will have, my lawyers take a look at the footage. But me tipping over is one way to say it. Another way to say it would be you impacting my boat and forcing us to tip over.
Okay.
That would be another way to say it.
All right.
And so here's the instance that we're talking about. There was only one, and mostly it's been all good times. I may have flipped you the bird immediately after this, but I didn't shout any bad words. And for me, I feel like that is progress.
I don't think that was needed. I don't think there was any verbalization needed in that. It's very clear.
So, the way that I tell the story, you can tell it differently. I am headed to the downward mark, and I'm doing my best with a moderately experienced crew, but we are heading downwind in heavy wind conditions, and we are headed towards the mark. And then I hear this. I hear starboard collision, flip boat over, and so. Then, as we come sputtering up out of the ground, you're there, and I'm not sure what your facial expression read, but it was sort of a shrug, like that, and that's when I gave you the international symbol of I'm not happy.
Yeah. It was clear in the face, really. You didn't have to do any kind of hand signals. But
I'm learning. I'm not a perfectly formed human yet. I'm still learning that I could just give you the look.
There it is.
Yeah.
We actually have video evidence of all of this, except for the part that he just described.
I believe I was shaded. I was shaded by the boat too.
Yes, that makes sense.
Thank goodness, because I have my reputation.
Well, that's good that it's just over audio.
You're a tough racer. You like to mix it up and get in there and I know our mutual dear friend Annie Sorensen.
Yes, Annie Sorensen.
She also took what I would say umbrage at some of your maneuvers.
Umbrage is a really colorful word. I'd say that's at least a $10 word.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that word means.
It means she was upset. I mean, she was not happy, and I was on the committee boat when said possible infraction occurred. Whether it was or was not, it did not go to the committee. So I guess we'll never know.
That's good. I mean, you didn't matter where you were, you definitely heard her.
If you were on top of the mountain, you would have heard Annie's protest. It was loud. It was passionate.
Oh yeah. Similarly to Justin's experience, you did not have to use any hand signals. Just look her in the face and you knew exactly what she was feeling.
Yes, but she chose to also use words.
Oh yeah, a lot of words.
Yeah. Annie likes to be the first to the mark, and she doesn't, and she likes people to immediately acknowledge her, her superiority and ascendancy. And I feel like you you weren't into that.
Never.
and thus budded a great friendship and rivalry.
Great. Oh, it was excellent. Yeah. Everything I would have ever hoped for.
Yeah, we will interview Annie Sorensen and recount the events of that day
real soon. I'm sure she has some great colorful words.
But I feel like we need to have your story. How did you get yourself into a situation where you upended from behind a competing boat, and then later had a very calm and together woman chastise you very loudly for an extended period of time? I would like your rebuttal, sir.
Well, basically, before we all set out for racing, Justin informs everyone of the protocol for protests. So if one boat doesn't like what the other boat did, and basically it involves a lot of chili guaro, which we've just enjoyed. So upon coming back to the shore, I did buy Annie a chili guaro, and I was hoping that would resolve the issue. There was still a good earful.
Did that work?
There was still a good earful to come out, but as it is.
Mm-hmm. And you, to your credit, you also did show up with a 6-pack of hard-won Victoria Nicaraguan beer on my desk the next day.
I think that was appropriate in your instance.
For you and I, we are all good, my friends.
Okay, all good. I feel like it might be a bit of a theme, me getting alcohol for people after racing.
I like racing. I like mixing it up. I didn't come from a racing background with sailing. I grew up in. I won't say I grew up. I didn't start racing until I was sailing until I was 15, and I really didn't consider myself a sailor until I had done some long passages. I had sailed from Costa Rica, from California to Costa Rica in my 20s, and then I started feeling like a sailor. But again, it was my experience was self-sufficiency and competency. Mm-hmm. And you started sailing as a young guy and started racing right away. Is that right? Yeah,
pretty much. As I was learning, I was always racing. But yeah, just growing up with it, making sure I was always safe in the boat, comfortable, things like that.
Small boats, big boats? You sailed with a bunch of different people?
Yeah, lots of different people. My family had a larger boat, and then I grew up on that, and I'd race smaller boats as a kid. And then, I got to the age of 16, and I started racing with lots of other people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I imagine by that time. Tell me about the area that you grew up sailing in. Like you know what we do here. We have a few boats. We are trying. Our main thing here at the Sailing Center is to create confidence in young people. Honestly, that's what it all boils down to. For me personally, is that people can get out in the water, feel like they know what they're doing, feel like they're good at something, and then have a really good time. Because the ocean, surfing, sailing was incredibly important to me as a young person. How do we get from where we are to where, the programs that you grew up in are now?
Definitely, involving the families, that's really important, and I'd say that you're doing that here a lot of the time. I mean, it's a very member-oriented club, so families come out and they'll sail as well as their kids in the program. So that's definitely happening. Just making it fun in general. And then the racing really ties all that in together. Because if you want to win a race, you got to be a really good sailor. You don't just have to know the rules. You have to make your boat go fast. And involving that with the parents and the kids together, it makes a club. And that's what's really important. It's just getting everyone together, making a community. And there's already such a great community feeling here in Potrero. Yeah. So having that on the water at the Sailing Center, that's going to do it. We have a different year this year than in years past.
Honestly, we've always had the youth program and kids come down and sail, and really more than any other year. When we've had great sailors in the past that they sail and the kids sail, but more than any time in the past we have kids and sailing in the after-school programs and in the Sunday programs, and then we have the parents taking advantage of their great lives down here and sailing in the mornings when the kids are at school. And there's been a huge transformation, I think. We had a huge day the other day. Normally it is the swell here is like what you see in the background here. It's gentle, it's beautiful. We have these embracing little arms of the bay that go out. But last week we had a swell that came directly in. It was perfectly positioned to roll straight in the bay, and we had at the right tide we had standing waves of a couple of meters tall. For the Americans out there, they were 6 or 7 feet tall and breaking right onto the shore. And honestly, one of the really most special moments that I have had here in my years at the Sailing Center was going out there with our team, which I think is very good and smart in the water, and getting out in the water, swimming out. You can't do a lot when you're swimming to guide a boat into a beach landing. Unless there's a wave, you can act as a drogue, you can hold on. But we had this line of four guys from the sailing center moving it in and getting those boats in through these big swells. And as they saw what was happening, the parents of those some of those kids and just some other adults that were doing after school or that were doing lessons with us saw the situation. They moved down the beach. That's the community of sailors. If you're ever in a place where you see somebody needs a hand with a boat, you dig in.
Yeah, always lending a hand. Boats coming into the dock, grab the lines. That's always that seamanship.
Exactly, and that was an example that it's something that we haven't exactly had before, because we haven't had so many parents sailing before as we do now, and seeing that community relationship with kids, with their instructors, and the beach guys, and then the parents running down because they recognize what's happening. Boy, that really fired me up.
That's good. That's what you need here. So I mean, it is happening. It's great.
Yeah, poco a poco.
Poco a poco, for sure.
Yeah.
So
do you have any other goals in sailing, things that you'd like to do in the future?
Oh, lots of goals. I mean, I want to do a bit more cruising, definitely across the Pacific. That's a penultimate goal of mine for sure. And ideally some more racing as well.
Yeah.
Trying to get to some world championships, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, you're doing J Worlds in Croatia, no?
J22 Worlds in South Africa, possibly this summer.
Sorry, that's right.
It's a possibility. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Whatever I can get, I'll take. If people ask me to sail with them, I'm on it. So we'll see how it goes. But
yeah, you're a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, definitely.
You could.
You've said that before.
You're a guy that can do so many things. I think you're a competent person. Not only with boats and lessons, but also, I think you have a great ability to analyze a situation and see what people need. Why have you not started your own business?
Because I don't stay anywhere long enough for any of that kind of stuff. But yeah. No, you really pumped my ego today, Justin. They used to call me the rooster because I was so cocky. I don't need this.
No, I've never said that in my life.
No.
So one of these days you'll settle down, Joe. I mean, you're not a young man anymore.
You said it. No.
I mean, you're only a few years younger than Tommy, but
yeah, I thought he was younger than me, but
anyways. No, we just went over that.
How old are you?
I'm 30.
Oh, I'm 38.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
yeah. That's a hop, skip, and a jump, my friend.
Kids say I'm 42, so.
Yeah.
My kids lie. My kids.
Jeff Herman.
Yeah.
Jeff Herman has a theory about time, which I think is pretty accurate. The early years, they go so slow, and it takes you a long time to make a full rotation. But as you increase you head towards the center, and those periods lessen until you get to be my age, and they're just going very, very quickly.
So. All right.
Carry that with you.
It's
really depressing.
You're really thinking out there with that theory.
Yeah. I'm gonna fill up my chili guaro shucks. I just like the dregs a little bit, I like that little.
I'm gonna try that too. It's kind of like a little michelada, but like a really weak one.
Micheladas are good.
Michelada. That's a bit ahead.
So, I would think as a professional sailor moving around the globe, you're like viewed as an international man of mystery among the lady folks that you.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just put that on my Tinder profile.
You should. You definitely should. It would definitely be better than your Instagram handle, which is like Ukulele Joe or something like that. It's it makes you sound very bumpkin-ish.
Well, there's nothing more dangerous than a man with a ukulele and a smile, but.
That could be argued, but I'm sure that it's true in many circumstances.
Sure, yeah, we can.
Probably not allowed within 200 meters of a school with a ukulele and a smile.
Looking like I do.
Your personal style, I would say, trends towards sun protection.
Definitely. There's a lot of sun out there, and I do not mess with sunscreen, so...
You don't do sunscreen?
Not really, not at all.
Interesting.
It's so funny that works, right?
Well, there have been plenty of studies. There was that one very famous study, Swedish study, I believe.
Okay.
Where they looked after people that used sunscreen regularly, used sunscreen not at all, and these are Swedish people, so they are fair folk.
They need a bit of sun protection.
And turns out that the people that use sunscreen all the time were much more likely to get skin cancer.
Yeah, that's why I don't mess with that. It's a false sense of security,
because of some study that you never heard of. That's why.
Long sleeves, big hat. I lost my hat for the last 3 days. That's why I'm all red in the face.
Okay. Yeah.
I found it.
Mm-hmm. Well, when my daughter was coming down to visit, I sent her a picture of a burqa sailing swimsuit, and I said, "I got you in this swimsuit. You're welcome."
You're such a good father.
Well, she did not take my advice at all, and there was quite a bit more skin showing, and to her detriment, because honestly, covering up is your best bet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's like sunscreen falls off, right? So a rash guard goes a long way. A big hat.
Yeah.
If you need sunscreen, sure, little spots on the face, on your legs.
Okay, so you're not like diametrically opposed.
I am pretty diametrically opposed, but if you get burnt, it hurts. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Rash guards are good. Getting a little tan is good too. A little vitamin D never hurt anyone.
No, I feel like
a little bit. Everything in moderation, right? That's the French would say
deeply
that.
tanned. Yeah.
I'd say
including moderation.
Yeah,
as they say.
It's ingrained in you, the tan, I'd say.
You would think so, but it goes. I am chele, so which is a sort of Central American word. Maybe it's a all Latin American word, but it means like lighter skinned. It's not derogatory.
I was going to say, are you going back to umbrage with this?
Chele.
Yeah.
So when I went through the market, I was with Patricia in the market in Nicaragua, and that's what all the vendors would yell after me. Chele, que no habla español. And I'd be like, come on, people. I know.
Oh, wow. We didn't get that when we were in Nicaragua.
You didn't? Well, you went to the touristy places.
We were in Managua.
Oh, yeah.
Downtown Managua.
No. We didn't get it because we were with Nicaraguans.
Man, that's a good point.
Yeah. And we went to, not very touristy places, really.
Definitely. We went to, like, the dentist.
It would be weird if people were like shouting "Chele" at the dentist's office. Yeah, that would be super uncomfortable.
And the doctor that I got my hair cut across the street from, that's weird.
Oh, they brought you beers.
Who closes a bar in the afternoon, like 2 to 3? Why is the bar closed? That's prime drink. It's hot outside. You want to have on a Monday.
I love that you're confused that a bar is closed between 2 and 3 on a Monday.
It's hot.
That is such a sailorly way to look at the world,
That was an odd time.
What's your favorite bar you've ever been to in all your travels?
Ever been to in all my travels?
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, there's this bar in Key West called Schooner Wharf Bar. Pretty sweet spot, I gotta say. It kind of looks like it's straight out of Pirates Caribbean. Like a bunch of shipwrecks have come together, They make good drinks, strong drinks, right on the wharf there, right in the marina.
Oh wow,
good spot.
Yeah,
Scoonies.
What about the dodgiest bar?
The dodgiest bar? Oof.
Yeah. Would it be Estero Azul?
No, I wouldn't say Estero Azul. I'm trying to think of like dodgy places I've been to now. This is a tough one. Perlas is pretty high up there, and that's
come on. Perlas is owned by some nice.
It's almost
Canadian
a bit too soon
people.
for that, I'd say. But
I've never actually even been to Perlas.
No,
that's a good thing. I left a nasty review on Perlas on Google.
See?
Yeah. Yeah. Just
I love the old owners, but they checked out a while ago.
That's the thing.
Certainly before you went there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that it's
totally
justified then. Okay. Cool.
Totally fine.
Cool.
I don't care.
Yeah, sketchiest bar? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Oh, there's this bar called Evergreen. I'm going to say it's in the Cayman Islands, but now I'm trying to think of other bars that I've been to.
I went to a bar in St. John's.
St. John's?
I was in St. John's.
Is that which St. John's?
In the Virgin Islands.
Okay, Virgin Islands. Because there's a lot of those.
And I was with a I don't know how to describe him. Like, my first thing I was gonna say was like white trash, but like just like super beefy white kid lifeguard. And he was sitting down next to this huge like Caribbean guy with a big watch, and the rumor around town was he had just killed somebody, and and he was harassing these poor vacationing, middle Americans, and like making it super uncomfortable for them.
Gotta love that. Really good for the business, right?
And this dude sat in and just kind of moved closer and closer until the guy that was harassing them said, like, what do you want? And he said, oh, I want it all. I said, we'll go out. Let's go outside right now. And he said, you have any idea? And like those people just scurried as soon as those guys started talking. And he said, and like this was just some super corn-fed, love to fight guy from Florida,
of course,
which describes like
Florida man,
37% of the population, and but knowing that this guy had been accused of murder and had just recently been released, and leaning into that conversation, and then saying, yeah, let's go outside. I'm the craziest white boy you've ever met, is what he said to that guy. And then that guy backed down and said, I don't need any more problems, and he left. And we had a lovely conversation with the poor assaulted people from Middle America. That was the weirdest, craziest bar that I had ever been to. And I didn't enter into that conversation, but I heard the whole thing. Just like this podcast.
It's probably good to just, hear those things and not really.
I've always wanted to say I'm the craziest white boy you've ever met. But I just think it would be untrue in any situation.
I think I might have said that once or twice.
Yeah, but you're from Kentucky, right? I mean,
I've lived in Kentucky. I'm not from there.
Okay.
I feel
nice demarcation line.
Just give them the eyes, like those eyes that you gave me coming out of the water. Those kind of eyes. Or the way that Annie looked at me that day, Like those kind of eyes, where you don't have to do the hand signal or say anything. It's just
we will interview Annie for this podcast one of these days. How would you describe Annie Sorensen?
A mermaid.
Yeah.
In a word.
Okay, I agree with that. High energy,
Definitely high energy.
She's found her calling in life.
Yeah, in all the right ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I can't say more than mermaid. I'm just gonna leave it at that one word.
Yeah.
Go from there.
So if you were to meet people out on the road and they asked about sailing in Potrero, what would you say to them?
I'd say you should hit up the Costa Rica Sailing Center, because that's where it's all at. #1 hit on Google. I mean, start there. But yeah, this is where it's at.
There's no other sailing in Costa Rica. We're the only place that's going to show up.
All right. I mean,
unless you want a booze cruise.
Yeah, there's a lot of like day charters and stuff down in Flamingo. But no, this location and the community that's here, the boats, the people that work here, this is where it's at.
Yep.
In a word.
That was like 27 words, but nobody's counting.
Okay, maybe a couple more than that. I'm just thinking back to the sketchiest bar I've ever been to. Basically, I opened the bar up. There's this place, so I was in Grenada, and I took a ferry north to this other island. Actually, I got a ride there to Carriacou. And then I took a ferry to this...
Carriacou?
Carriacou, yeah. And then I took a little tiny ferry to this little island called Petit Martinique.
This is in the Leeward Islands?
Yeah, Leeward Islands, Grenada, just north of Grenada, almost in the Tobago Keys, almost up to like St. Vincent. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So I walk down the beach and I see a bar and it's closed, and I walk up and I ask the guy sitting underneath the coconut tree, right?
Just like a stupid bar across from the haircut place, closed on a Monday, 2 to 3 o'clock. Who would think that?
Why would they close? There was people inside the bar, but it was still, they wouldn't let me in.
Okay.
Anyways.
Oh, nice. All right.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So they opened the bar up just for me, because obviously,
Good.
white boy,
You're
craziest white boy
pounding
you've ever
on the bar.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're all insist I buy him drinks, and I was like, sure. It's like
nice.
And then
and you did?
Yeah, they're selling me all the drugs and shit. I was like, this is great. This is. And the bar stayed open all day. They were trying to get me to just stay on the island all day. There was a little bit of
No, I don't know.
Let's just say I ran down the beach to the ferry to get off that island. But yeah, I got out.
All right.
Yeah.
What was it? Do you remember the name? Was there a name?
The bar
of
did
that
not have a name.
Oh, nice. That's the best. The best
bar was a
bars have
shack.
no name.
There was ice, Coca-Cola, and rum,
It's a solid start.
and that was the bar.
Yeah.
It was a good time. That, I'd say, was the sketchiest bar I've ever been to.
Uh-huh.
I opened it up, I closed it.
It's beautiful. A beautiful story.
It was a good time.
Joe Paolene, it's been great talking to you.
It's been great, yeah.
On This Costa Rican Life. I
Yeah.
love how you check your watch there.
Well, you know,
I know you
there's-
got a lot to do. You're
Look
busy.
at that water.
I know.
I gotta tell you, I first fell in love with sailing, palm tree sailing as I'll call it, where the palm trees are. I was in Dominican Republic, right on the border of Haiti, and I climbed this mountain, looked out across the water, and it was February, and it was warm air I was feeling, this potent wind and warm wind, right? And I looked out, it was beautiful, separated white caps all across the water, and it was February, and I was like, this is where I want to be for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, just in that situation, when you can look out of the water, you're feeling a warm wind in February, and
It's March right now.
yeah, and you can see breeze on the water. I figured out yesterday that I haven't been back to Canada for 7 years in February at all.
Wow. You might be the tannest Canadian.
In February. I don't know. We're all over the place, but
Yeah. Joe,
it's a good time. All right.
Thanks for stepping in, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do, and
It's
thanks,
been great. Yeah,
thanks
no,
for talking to us.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
All right.
Yeah.
Leaves it wide open. Thanks,
Wow.
everybody. This is This Costa Rican Life.
Thank you.